Hey RX Yoga fam! So I have some good news and I have some bad news today. Unfortunately, the bad news is this morning I hurt myself. I was squatting with a barbell and didn't really warm up how I should have, and it led to a back spasm. Right now, my whole mid back from here to the bottom of my shoulder blades feels so tight, and every time I move and transition from sitting to standing, rolling over, even walking a little bit, it hurts. So not so good, right? But the good news is I'm going to use this opportunity to show you what a doctor of physical therapy would do when they have back pain, and this is real life. We're gonna get to the movement in just a moment, but the first thing I did after I had the squat that led to the pain, I put the barbell down and I just took some really deep breaths. Yes, breathing. Breathing is going to take your body from that freezing part of the nervous system where you feel stressed and that you create that fight or flight to the relaxation state. And why do you want to do that? Because it's going to actually tell your body, hey, I'm safe. And when your body feels safe, it doesn't feel like it has to hold on to your muscles. So I took some deep breaths, and then I took an ibuprofen so that I could do some movement later on, AKA now. And I took a hot shower just before this video to help loosen up the muscles. So you can take a hot shower, you can put a heat pack on your back, something that kind of warms up the area so that your body allows you to move a little bit more, which we're going to do right now. So feel free to follow along. We're gonna get onto our hands and our knees, and let's begin with cat-cows. So first, I'm just going to align my body precisely, stacking my shoulders over my wrist and stacking my hips over my knees. And just take a moment here to settle in. Then I'm going to do cat-cows to tolerance. So when I start to feel pain or tension, I'm gonna stop there and just breathe into it. So really slowly as I inhale, tilt my tailbone to the sky, start to really lift my chest up, my heart center to the sky as I roll my shoulders down my back and gaze forward. Kind of feel it there, so I'm gonna stop and tuck my chin, going into a cat pose, spreading my shoulder blades apart, tucking my tailbone, and pulling my belly button up and in towards my heart. And then I'll just begin, if you're doing this with me, flow organically, really slower than you typically would do in a yoga class, and let it be intuitive. So here, I'm gonna just do side to side, because when I do that, it stretches out the muscles that line my spine. The erector spinae is what they're called. Just briefly moving and stretching them, hopefully getting the blood flow there, getting the healing properties there. And when you get to the pain, try not to stiffen up and have that shallow breath. You want to create that safety that we were talking about. Good. Now I'm going to just go straight to child's pose, taking my knees wide, my toes together. Sit back on your heels and slowly just crawl your way in. Rest your forehead on the yoga mat. And this is a really good place to take expansive deep breaths. So we'll take 3 together. On the inhale, notice your ribs, side ribs, and back ribs elevate 360 degrees. As you exhale, release tension in your body. Imagine your back pain and the spasm dissolving away. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 7, 6. Relax your belly. 4, 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Now push through your hands, look forward, bring yourself back up to the tabletop. Always taking time to see where your body's at. And then to get your core activating, reach your right leg back. See what happens there. Level out your hips and your shoulders, then reach the left arm forward. Holding this, push the hand away, square off the shoulders, square off the hips, and gaze a couple feet ahead of you. Find a focal point. Take it back to the slow breath. We're working the antagonist muscle, your core. That way we relieve some of the low back. Good, release the left hand. Take the right knee outside your right rib cage. Flex the foot and set your right foot outside your right hand. And take your hands inside your right foot. Let your hips melt down and your chest expand forward. So here we're taking a lizard lunge together. And it's another opportunity to breathe and release tension. Think of squeezing the left glute and dropping the pelvis down. And think of expanding and elongating from your crown forward. Listen to your body, and if you feel a little bit of relief, you can go further. Now right now it's not happening a whole lot for me just because I'm feeling the back spasm, so I'm just gonna breathe into it. Picture that area of your back, wherever you feel the spasm, lifting on the inhale and disintegrating, just going away on the exhale. Picture it softening. Inhale. Exhale. So it's also good to stretch our hamstrings. So heel toe the right foot to the center of the mat and scoot your hips back, straightening the right leg. Your hips should be over the left knee. And then you're gonna tilt your nose towards your toes, square off the hips by plugging the right hip back and drawing the left hip forward. If you need more space, then you can use yoga blocks on either side of your right leg. But here we'll just think of a cow tilt of our pelvis back and reaching forward with a flat spine, flat back. And then exhale, we release further. Good. So with any back tension, we want to think of the muscles around the area. Think of what's happening in your hamstrings and your hips. And think what's happening the joint above too, my upper back and my neck area. How can we find more space in those areas to hopefully relieve tension in the problem area? I wouldn't just look at that part of my back where I feel the tension because the body works together as a whole. So releasing the tension of the hamstrings can release the joints above. Same with the neck. Good. Rebend into the right knee. Take your hands up to the right knee. Square the hips off, melt them down. Lift the heart center. Really let your hips magnetize towards the floor. You can stay here, or if you want a little more into the back bend, which extension is really good for our spine, take your hands behind your back, fingertips facing up, squeeze your elbows together and lift your heart center to the sky. Now normally I can take my back bend a little bit further, but today it's not happening. You're just going to your tolerance. Never force it, always flow with it and listen to your own body, your own healing. Good, exhale, release. Take the fingertips on either side of the right foot and take it back to meet the left. Align your tabletop. Shoot your left leg back, square off the hips, and the right arm forward. Find your level hips, your activated glute, and a focal point in front of you, or a dristi, what we call it in yoga. That way, it keeps your gaze steady and softness in your head and in your neck. For 3, 2, 1, release the right hand. Take the left knee outside your left rib cage. Big step up as you flex the foot. Step it to the outside of your left hand. Hands draw forward inside the left foot. Scoot your knee back and draw your chest forward as you magnetize the hips towards the earth. We get that big hip stretch. Start to think of lifting through the heart center. We're working on finding as much space and alignment in the body as possible. Letting our muscles feel capable of relaxing. Letting your nervous system feel capable of relaxing. It's all about tissue tolerance. So we're letting our body become more tolerant to different ranges of motion so that it feels safe and releases any pain. And it takes time. I'm not telling you this, you're gonna do this and feel 100%. But I'm showing you how to move little by little. Listen to your body. And over time, the more you do it, we release that tension. So we'll take the hamstring stretch, heel toe the left foot to the center, shift your hips back, and then I kind of slide my left foot forward so my right hip stays over my right knee. Cow tilt your pelvis back, draw your nose forward to your toes, elongating your spine. Exhale. Just being intentional about keeping those slow breaths in order to decrease rigidity and decrease that full body tension. Full breaths really are magical in that way. Can't preach it enough. Good. Anjaneyasana. Pull that left foot back, rebend into the left knee. Take your hands up to your left knee as you square the hips off and let them float towards the earth. You can hold here if you just need to breathe here. This is your practice, your body. Your body tells you where to go. So you want to find the edges, the borders of where you feel the pain and breathe there. So I'm going to take my hands behind my back, squeeze my elbows together, and when I start to lift my chest, get to a certain point where maybe I feel the back spasm, and then I'm going to relax into the pose. Have that awareness to flow and to release, just micrometers at a time. You're doing great. Good, release. Take your hands on either side of the left foot. Take the left foot back to meet the right. And then sit onto your heels. Swivel your hips to one side. We're gonna go down to our yoga mat really slowly, because I know if I just go straight back, it's not gonna feel good. So I'm sitting to the center of my mat, then I'm gonna log roll. So I'm gonna bend my knees, turn them to my left so I can face you. Cultivate my core, draw my belly button up and in as I just start to slowly draw my torso to the floor as I slide my left arm down. Now I'm side lying, and then I'm gonna come to the center of the yoga mat and create a spot where I can lie comfortably. Draw your shins, don't draw your chin in. Draw your shins in and give yourself a big hug. If this is a lot, you can take your feet a little bit wider for a wide shins to chest. and just rock side to side. Final pose, we're gonna do a reclined twist. So let your knees fall over to the left and then turn your body so your hips are stacked and your head is lying on the floor. Your left hand is just in front of your chest. And then take your right arm as you inhale, open the arm, keep your gaze following your thumb. And as you exhale, just release. Let go of tension, let that right arm completely release, let your bones be heavy. And I'll tell you right here, these twists are some of the most intense movements for me right now. Like, I'm feeling this a lot. However, I'm letting my body become accustomed to this twist so that in daily activities, when I have to twist to reach my bag behind me, or I'm reaching for something behind me when I'm cooking, or twisting open the doorknob, that my body knows it's been here and it knows it's safe here. So this is for your functional movement to get the body feeling comfortable. Once again, slowly inhale back to center. Give yourself a big hug. Yay, thank you for doing this today. And then take your knees over to the right, stacking your hips, stacking your shoulders, right arm in front of you. Now your gaze is gonna follow that left thumb as you open and release. Now one side is gonna feel more intense than the other. This one for me, you can see how I'm really hesitant to let go of this arm, but I'm breathing into it to let it completely be taken by gravity. If this is a little intense, you can always take the hand behind your head, because the arm lengthened out, of course, is a longer lever arm, and it's a little bit more intense. But I encourage you to kind of go into that place where you do feel it, but it's not going into anything sharp or anything that's radiating. Of course, your body knows best. Just let yourself be, know that this is the work. I know if you're like me, you want to be moving, you want to be lifting weights and doing your hard workouts too, but the body tells you when it's time to, hey, slow down a little bit. Give me a little TLC, and then we'll work back even stronger. Inhale back to the center, give yourself a big hug. And I'm gonna pick my forehead up, knees in, forehead to knees, big hug. And then exhale, Savasana. Now I actually want you to take this Savasana, set it up to relax, shoulders away from your ears, fingertips in, feet turn out. Let yourself find a place of calm, because this is where your nervous system will fully have the chance to heal. It will take all of the extra energy that's going into your muscles, that's preparing for the flight or the freeze, and it will use them to heal what's going on internally. This is when the body heals itself. You have the power to do that. And this move, Savasana, is the best pose to let that system work within you. So know you are powerful just because of who you are, and you being here and relaxing in this pose is doing the healing for you. So I honor you for taking the time to do this. Take your favorite stretches, continue to breathe deeply. Little by little, your body will release tension and you'll feel better. It's a process. It doesn't happen all at once, so give yourself time and stay the course. Thank you for letting me guide you. I'm honored. If this served you in any way, please like this video and subscribe. It helps the channel and more people who are feeling spasms in their back to be able to find a little healing. Spread the love. Namaste.